These here, these tiny little berries, are autumn olives. There are two cultivars in there. We've got this yellow one, which is the amber autumn olive, and then we have this little red one, which is the ruby autumn olive. So these are part of the Elaeagnus genus, which I'm probably saying wrong, and I feel like with this particular genus, I'm doing things backwards. I had my first one in northeast India, and those are really rare. Then I tried the gumi. It is grown here, but it's not easy to find. It's one that people will grow in their backyard sometimes. They'll grow it in their garden. And this one, the autumn olive, is everywhere. You can actually find it just a few miles away from where I live. However, I have not seen it yet. Now these are not native to North America. These are native to East Asia. However, they were brought over here in the early 19th century. And yeah, they kind of spread. These are ones that you gotta keep your eye on because they can kind of like take over. So with how easy it is for this thing to grow, you may think that I went out to the woods around here, around where I live, and I picked some. No, these were actually sent to me by Wanderlust Nursery because I have still yet to see these things growing in the wild. I've been looking, haven't found them yet. Thankfully, I know some people, and Wanderlust Nursery was kind enough to send this to me. If you're interested in growing this, check out the link right here and in the description below. I believe they have these for sale. It's one that you do need to keep your eye on because they are known to kind of take over. So you gotta be careful with this one, but they do normally taste pretty good. The other two species that I've had at least were really good. And I'm guessing that these will as well, but yeah, let's dive in. First I'm going to go for the amber, one of these little yellow ones. They're tart, but that tartness dissipates fairly quickly. So it's like you put it in your mouth, you bite it, and it's like 9, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It goes down the scale real quick. So it's like a little pop of flavor, little pop of sourness. There's a little bit of sweetness there, but not a lot. I'd say it's like a 2 out of 10. And the seeds on these are edible. So I'm just chewing right through it. And when you chew through the seed, you get like a little bit of like a slight like woodiness to it. But not that noticeable. And these amber autumn olives taste like a tart plum. Maybe a touch of like a honey sort of flavor in there too. But yeah, plum. Getting a plum taste. Totally good. Some of the ones I've had in the past have had like a tomato-like flavor because these ones are rich in lycopene. And I'm guessing the amber ones maybe aren't. I mean, they're not red. So, and they don't taste like tomatoes. So I'm guessing that these ones maybe don't have as much lycopene in it. Some of the ones that I'm eating are a little bit astringent, and I think those ones are just like maybe not fully ripe, because other ones don't have that astringency at all. And with the amber ones, I can see it maybe being a little difficult to tell when one is ripe and when one isn't, because the red ones, when those are unripe, they look like the amber ones, and then when they ripen, they turn red. The amber ones, when they ripen, don't turn red. I would take a whole bunch of those, I'd sprinkle them like on my cereal or some oatmeal or something, and it would give it a nice flavor. So next I'm going to try the other one, the ruby autumn olive. The red ones taste different. Now that I've had the comparison, I do detect that plum flavor, but I also have a little touch of that tomato taste. That does exist in there. And I'm also getting a bit of like a red currant kind of flavor. So the tartness, I'd bring it down a peg. I'd maybe put it at like a 6 out of 10. And the sweetness, I would put up a little bit higher, maybe around a 7 out of 10. But some of them that I'm eating, they're not super sweet on like when you first put it in your mouth, but then the aftertaste comes and it's a little bit sweet and more mellow tasting than the initial taste. So it's again like starts sour, but then and the sourness goes down, but then also starts like not very sweet and then gets sweeter. It's like a flavor adventure when you eat these things. And I can see them both being useful if you were to use them like berries. You know, just throw them into something the way you would use with blueberries. Some of the other species of this that I've had, like the gumi and the Indian olive that I had, those had bigger seeds in it. So when you bite through it, you're getting a little bit of a woodiness to it. These ones, the seeds are so small that it makes this a lot easier to use. So I can see these being more useful than the other two, just because like you can throw these into something and just eat it easily. You don't need to worry about dodging those seeds or biting through those seeds. The seeds are so small that it won't slow you down. So I know they're really, really tiny, but if you look real close, you can see that there's like little teeny silver speckles on these. Especially you can tell on the red one. Sometimes these are called silverberries or Japanese silverberries because they have these little silver speckles on them. So it looks like you took a tiny little tomato or something and then you threw glitter on it. So yeah, the Elaeagnus genus, although I may be saying it wrong, is pretty good. I've liked all three that I've had so far, and they've all been very unique and useful in their own way. Like, I can see the larger Indian olive being useful for just like out of hand. This one I can see being useful for a lot of things. I throw this like on a dish or throw it on a dessert. Use it like you'd use like currants or blueberries or something. So this here is the autumn olive, which is interesting because I've had relatives of this, but much more rare relatives. Oh, they're very strong. They're tart. Level 1 to 10. Maybe like an 8? I know they look like berries, but they don't really have like a strong berry flavor. It's more like Granny Smith apple, touch of tomato, and these ones are like a touch astringent, but they're good. This is something where I would collect a bunch of these and make like jam out of them or juice out of them. Maybe add like a little bit of sugar, because it is pretty strong. So it's something useful that if you happen across them, like they're in your backyard or something, you can pick them and make something pretty good out of it. But yeah, I think that's about it. So autumn olives, very cool to get a chance to try these, and especially just foraging them. And there are others, so I'm going to keep my eye out for even more. I would like to give a shout out to Smarter Every Day, AltPod, and the Harbor Leaf Tea Company. They are mega patrons over on Patreon.com. If you haven't heard of it, Patreon.com it's how this channel happens. It's how I can afford to keep this YouTube channel going. So if you haven't checked it out, please take a moment to go into the description below and click the link there. I also have t-shirts for sale over at my web store. A link to that is in the description as well. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.